Right.
acknowledge them. Good afternoon, people on Facebook or YouTube or wherever you happen to be. We are doing this live today just because I felt like it. So, and Linda goes along with whatever I do, right, Linda?
Exactly.
Exactly. So we are live. Hope you like what we're going to do. So sit back and here we go in 3, 2, 1.
Hello? Are you ready? Then we'll begin.
We returned to ordinary time this past weekend, but ever so small because it's going to be a very short one. So sit back, relax, grab a cold one, and join us for Monday Morning Catholic episode number 103.
6:30 Monday morning. I'm here hiding in my bed. A song plays on my alarm clock as I cover up my head. Somewhere in the distance, I remember yesterday singing hallelujah full of
I remember yesterday like it was today. Oh, actually, it might be. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome to another edition of the Monday Morning Catholic Podcast. I'm your host and moderator, Joanne Mercier. And you know what? If it wasn't for Linda, sometimes there'd be just me. Linda Reed, Director of Music and Liturgy, St. Thomas Parish in Providence, Rhode Island. Good morning, Linda. How you doing?
Good morning. I'm doing fine.
You're doing fine.
Yes, I'm doing fine.
Well, you know, and I shouldn't just say that about Linda because, you know, the reason why we record on Sundays, of course, and everybody's busy on Sundays.
Yes.
And Stephen is going to be popping by a little bit later. He couldn't,
Hey.
but he'll be here at some point for the. Let's try that again, shall we? Stephen will be stopping by a little later. So those of you who have not seen him in a while, here's your chance. That is, if he shows up. We live in joyful hope.
Yes.
But the rest of them, this has been a long weekend anyway, so you know that's what happens. People have lives and go away, and we don't.
We don't.
So it's just Linda and I, and a couple of homilies and some feedback, and we're doing pretty good. So how's it going, Linda?
Very well. Very well. Masses went very nicely this weekend. Ordinary time, back to a little bit of ordinary time, and
I did notice, now correct me if I'm wrong, because I could have been asleep, that the acclamations have not changed.
No, they haven't.
I was correct.
Because it's 4 weeks
All right.
of ordinary time, and I couldn't see changing them.
Okay. Well, that was smart.
We'll go right through with the same set of acclamations and change them for Lent, Easter.
Oh, good. Do we know what they are yet?
Yeah. It's an unpublished set of acclamations by Michael Joncas.
Oh, surprise.
Surprise, yes.
That's a big surprise.
It's a set that I really liked.
Okay.
And it never has gotten published.
So I take it I haven't even played these yet.
No, you haven't played them yet, but I'll give you copies of them. I have the files.
Good. Thank you. And more to practice with.
Yes. And it's a really nice, I like it because it has a little bit of an Americana feel to it.
Oh, right.
That's what really attracted me to that set. And when I introduced them into the parish, the parish really caught on to them. They really liked them.
Oh, okay. So the parish has done it before.
The parish knows them, yeah.
Oh, all right. All right.
That was the second set we learned. We learned first the Mass of Creation with the new words.
Right.
And this was the second set that we learned.
Oh, so I probably have heard it at
You
least.
probably heard it. I'd sing a few bars, but right now I can't remember how it goes. It's,
Doesn't that happen when we get older?
yeah, I mean, it's holy, 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 but you know,
There you go. Well, at
there's
least
about
you have the
6 of them running around in my head.
Oh, it figures.
Yeah,
That's
but
all
you've
right.
heard them. You've heard them.
If I'm playing for Holy Week, then I'm going to need them.
Yeah, you are.
Yep. So just send them my way. You know my address.
Yes, I do.
And
I
it's
do.
not MondayMorningCatholic@gmail.com.
No, no, I know your regular address.
Thank you. Appreciate that. Anyway, speaking of MondayMorningCatholic@gmail.com, we did get some feedback this week. So not only are we going to be talking about the previous weekend's liturgies like we always do, we are going to talk about, we've got the voice of the people. And again, we've got 2 this week that have been neck and neck. You know, and they basically are the same theme. And it's basically the same theme as the weekend. So don't you love it when it all comes together?
Yeah, when it all comes together. Boom.
I do. And someone here, not moi, is going to be talking tech. And it ain't going to be me for the first time. So surprise, surprise, surprise.
Don't get too excited, you techies out there.
No, but I think it's very good that Linda talks about her new tech purchase.
Yes.
Or was it
I
a
was-
present?
I was a very good girl this year and got a lovely Christmas present.
Yes. We'll find out more about it as we go along.
Yes.
So let us start with
How does it look from your side? How does it look
how does it look from your side of the world and not ours?
from your side? From your side.
And we did get some feedback from our good friend John in Yakima. Now, John in Yakima sent us a couple of things, so bear with me because I'm going to be actually bringing up some pictures.
Mm.
So this will be very, I've got to use our screen share here.
Hey, there's Steven.
Oh, and
Hey.
hold on, I don't quite, when the picture goes away, then I know he's here. Are you here, Steve?
I think so.
Okay, I see your picture, but not you.
Oh,
That's an interesting thing.
okay.
We
I
hear
can see me in the thing.
Yeah, I guess you can.
you see you, but we don't see you. All
All we see is a picture.
right, I want to.
Do you want me to sign out and go back again?
Well, let me just check and see if I can do something on my end. No, I can't. And all I'm getting is black.
Oh,
Do you want to try it again?
that.
Okay.
Wait a minute. There he is.
Oh, wait a minute. There you are. Don't go anywhere. Okay, now I have to rewind and start again. We were just going into the first segment, but hey, look who showed up here. It's when he gets Zach and screen together. It's Steve Romano, Director of Music and Liturgy from St. Augustine's Parish in Providence. Good morning, Steve. How you doing?
I'm doing all right.
We love it when this happens.
Not exactly a resounding endorsement.
They're real. But it's after Christmas, and all of that's over, Steve, and
Woohoo!
you're in ordinary time. How's it going? How's it been since we last saw you?
Are we on the air?
Yes, we are.
Oh, hello. Hi.
Are we live? Yes, we are.
Oh, yes, we are very live.
Oh, I didn't. Sorry, I didn't. You know what? I should have seen the live button in the corner. I didn't notice it.
We are extremely live.
It's going fine. Christmas went very well. Church, and then with the family and all that.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was just very bizarre because it's all new.
It's
so
all new.
it's just
Yeah.
It's all been very bizarre.
Well, better bizarre than depressing.
It's your first Christmas in a new place. It's bound to be.
Yeah.
It's going to be a little...
I never realized how at home I was with being comfortable.
Ah,
You know what I mean?
exactly. I know what you mean.
But no, everything went fine, and I gave them a couple weeks off, so we start up again this week.
Oh, they'll
So.
be very happy with you for doing that.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially because I utilize them more than they ever been utilized. So,
Ah.
but they're doing fine. It's good for them.
Yeah, it is.
That's absolutely great.
And I gained like another 3 or 4 people. So
Good.
Wow, that's great.
now I'm pushing 30.
Oh, all right.
So.
All right. Do you know there are people who kill for that number?
Yeah.
No, it's true. You know, even when I was in my other parish, I can remember I would get mad when 5 or 6 people were missing and we only had like 20.
Yeah.
And
Right.
I'd say, but I guess I shouldn't complain because some don't even have 10. So
Yeah. Yeah. That's right.
yeah.
So if you lose 5 out of 10, you've lost half your choir.
That's right.
Right.
So no, it's going fine. Oh, so again, I didn't realize we were live. Sorry, I'm here.
That's okay.
Yeah.
That's all right.
You didn't say anything we'd had to censor.
No, we didn't have to censor
Good thing.
Didn't have to censor anything at this
Because as you know, I'm usually very susceptible to doing that. So
I would have muted you quickly. Now, I've the whole thing, ladies and gentlemen, if you're just wondering why we're all chuckling,
Yes.
was that we had communicated before we began, and I had said to Steve, you can jump in when you come in, but we're
Yeah.
going to start.
Yeah.
So
oops.
So he jumped.
it was an oops, and well, anyway, we're on to, we've done the witty banter,
Okay.
and now we're over to a feedback. So I was just about to
All right.
begin the feedback from John from Yakima.
All right.
So John sent us a few pictures, and I want to be able to show one of them if I can actually, if it'll allow me to do so. Let's see what I can do here. Let's see if this is going to be, oh, now I get one of those beautiful,
Oh.
crazy things that happens.
Oh.
If I can, all right, let's see if we can get this piece
Oh,
big.
that's pretty.
Isn't that, I'm trying to show folks, but of course you're all seeing the infinity
Yes.
thing there.
But we get a picture on the. I have a picture on the left.
Right.
Of the door.
The
Of the
Yeah.
door, right?
On the left is the one I want you to see. So I'm going to try to move that to the middle and see if
That's
I can.
beautiful.
All right, see that?
Oh yeah.
Right. That is the Mercy door at the cathedral in Yakima.
That's beautiful.
And that's the outside. Now if you go there, that's what they have on the inside.
Oh yeah.
So I think that's quite, I don't know if many people did the other side of the door,
Yeah, that's really nice.
but that's kind of cool. Okay. And then of course their banners
Yeah.
on either side, which is, I haven't seen many of these banners. Do you have these banners
No.
up, Steve, in your place? Because I know we don't have it at St. Thomas.
No.
And then, of course, in Spanish on the other side.
Oh yeah.
Very nice. And then, of course, John wanted to send us a picture of snow in case we've forgotten what it's looking like over here.
No, we don't want any.
This is the outside of the cathedral.
I'll be there with snow.
Yeah, I'm not missing it. Are you missing it?
No, send it. You can send the snow back to Yakima.
Now, I have to admit, I'm not seeing anything you're showing, Joanne.
You're
Oh.
not seeing, probably because you're on an iPad.
Right.
Oh, you're missing it.
Yeah. But I'm sure it's quite lovely.
I will.
It is. It's quite lovely, Stephen.
I will send you the pictures.
Okay, thank you.
Because I'm always interested. I like church architecture, so it gives me a chance to see what the architecture is like in other parts of the country. Because we're used to seeing, especially in our older buildings, things that are reminiscent of Europe.
Yep.
As you go across the country, it's not the same.
Yeah.
You know, you either get the real modern or the kind of
Yeah.
like mixture or.
I just stumbled upon the other day, and I don't know how, on YouTube, the video of building and design and building of a Benedictine monastery somewhere.
Ooh.
Wow.
That's an odd thing to find on YouTube, but you can
Yeah.
find anything on YouTube.
Yeah, no, it was like, in the suggestions, and I don't know why, but I clicked on it. It was very interesting. I agree with you, Joanne. It's interesting to see the whys and the wherefores of all that.
Oh yeah, I love, and I'm sure you do it when you're on convention, and I've done it quite a few times, where you get a chance to do an organ crawl, and it's not just going from place to place to see the organs; it's actually crawling inside of the real.
Although I usually tend to stay on the outside, I don't want to get stuck. So
Oh,
I'm For those viewers who don't know me personally, I'm what they call husky.
Yeah.
So
Yes,
I
you lost weight.
I am 50 pounds less husky, but I'm still husky.
Yes, you're a lot less husky.
Yeah.
But I tend to still stay on the outside, and I go, "Oh, that looks nice."
Yeah, yeah.
Well, when I was younger, I ventured more inside. Now I haven't been on one in a while. I don't know if I'd actually go in anymore, but because I'm tall. I mean, it's also a problem when you're tall.
Oh yes.
Not so
Yes.
much wide, but tall because of the pipes.
I could never be an organ repair person.
No, I couldn't.
No. So.
I couldn't either. Well, along with all of that, John sent us a note, and because we've asked, so
Getting to know you, getting to know.
he sent us a little bit about himself. So I'm going to try to do my best because he even says it's very long.
Getting to
And it, but
like me.
but he did say to all of us that he has been enjoying learning about who we are, you know, and the challenge that he gets from our podcast is to pay better attention to each Sunday's homily and remember the message, which he suspects is a major hindrance to getting more feedback from listeners and viewers. You know, I never thought of that before.
Yeah.
We're all sitting there paying attention to the homily, but they're not sending it to us either. So, folks, take a tip from John here. He took the time. He says he now takes a pen with him to church and to jot a few notes down on the bulletin during the homily. And
I was going to say, don't write in the hymnal.
Yeah.
no, don't write in the hymnal. But they get a bulletin before Mass because it has the service music on the front page. Okay? So he said, this is probably too long for your podcast, but here it is. I am not changing any words here. All right? I was hatched 63 years ago at Yakima Hospital. That is about 5 blocks from my home. The second of 7, 2 boys, 2 girls, 3 boys.
Wow.
Mom was not very happy on the occasion as I decided to come forth at noontime, so she did not get any lunch. Just 4 days earlier, she had to stand in line for 3 hours to vote as the lines were extending out the door and down the sidewalks at the polling places. The ballot was the size of a newspaper, the largest in history. At some voting locations, it took almost until midnight for everyone to finish voting. Imagine if we did that today.
Wow.
Yikes. The next year, the county bought voting machines. Duh. Okay. Dad was an automobile mechanic, so children had tools in hand as soon as they were out of diapers. We had carte blanche when it came to hand tools and power tools after training. There was one wood stack we could use without permission and another we could use with permission and a plan for utilization. When I was about 2 years old, Dad bought a keg of mixed nails and brought home a section of tree trunk for my brother and me to practice hammering. No, the real hammer.
Oh.
Okay. And he says a lady's hammer that we had the musculature to use. Dad had received his own table saw from an aunt for Christmas when he was 12. The general attitude for children using tools would now be considered very liberal. It would. You wouldn't put a camera in a kid's hand at 2.
Yeah.
I went to private kindergarten. That was all there was at the time. And 8 years of St. Paul grade school, walking the whole block to school every day. Remember those days?
No.
No, you didn't. I walked to school every day and came home for lunch.
Me too.
Oh, my.
Yeah.
Me too.
Listen, if I left for lunch, I wouldn't go back.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, okay.
I remember being very lowly motivated to go back.
Nice. High school was at the diocesan institution, and college was at Gonzaga University studying engineering, and Yakima Valley Community College studying data processing. Dad grew up on a farm east of Yakima, so I spent time out there. I learned to drive a tractor before I could even get a learner's permit to drive on public roads. Some of us were driving cars at 12 on private roads. I'll admit it. Let's see. Grandfather grew mostly Bartlett pears, but also had Jonathan, Winesap, Transparent, and Red and Golden Delicious apples, along with a couple of apricot trees. In the pasture, he raised a few head of cattle.
Oh, gee.
Yikes. We did a lot of canning over the years. Growing up, I got to appreciate fresh fruits, vegetables, and meats. Let's see. Yikes. Oh, gosh.
Well,
He has so far, let's see, talk about the, okay. Even with those deep routes I have traveled, so far to 46 states and the
whoa.
western provinces of Canada. So he has Hawaii, Maine, New Hampshire, Vermont, Quebec, and eastern provinces to go. That's quite a lot.
Yes,
Yeah.
it is.
With June's trip to the CMMC, I was able to move North and Carolina to the has-been there list. Even with the multiple cross-country trips, most of my driving was done locally at work. For 25 years, I drove 350 miles each night, delivering auto parts from a local warehouse to parts stores in eastern Washington and northeast Oregon.
Wow.
I typically started with a new vehicle and put at least 200,000 miles on it before getting a new one to break in. With the bicentennial year's resolution to be more knowledgeable about government, I started attending Yakima City Council meetings. For more than 2 years, I went never saying a word. Some of the council thought that I must be a reporter, as no one else had ever done that. On my second try in 1995, I was elected to the Yakima City Council and served until the stroke of Y2K.
Oh,
The monthly reading was in the neighborhood of 1,000 pages, except November when the budget added another 1,000 pages.
oh.
Yikes. Let's see. I am now retired, living in a World War I era house that I bought from my great uncle and aunt who had moved in from their honeymoon in 1923. I am effectively rebuilding it from the inside. New plumbing, new wiring, new heating, new walls, and earthquake reinforcing. Something we don't do here.
No, yeah.
Being handy with tools mean that some money is needed, but not nearly as much as would be necessary to contract all that work. A look at my calendar says that Mondays are for the Toastmasters Club since 1984, and a small group Bible study, the following Sunday's readings. Tuesday morning and Wednesday evenings is a parish adult education. I am a leader in that group. This winter we are studying Bishop Robert Barron's The Mystery of God.
Ah.
Perfect. Tuesday evenings are devoted to RCIA. I am a part of that team. On Thursdays, I volunteer a couple hours at the county Republican headquarters. Friday noontime is set aside for the Yakima Engineers Club.
Wow.
Saturdays are occupied with attending the Magnificat program put on by the diocese. With the Magnificat program, I may be officially certified to be a catechist. He has another year to go.
Wow.
So this is a very, John,
Hey, John.
man of many talents.
Wow.
Quite a different, wow, that's a lot, and you're retired?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yikes, I
And
got
he's handy with tools. Wait a minute, I need something done here.
What do you need, Linda?
I need to have a new ceiling fan installed.
Yeah, and I'm sure Pat, that's not one of Pat's skills.
No.
Or
No.
gifts.
He's a
Well,
Peter-
I know in my case, our pull chain light in the kitchen
Oh,
broke.
wow.
doesn't
And
pull
so
anymore.
my wife said to me, before the summer, we need to have this replaced.
Yeah. Well, that's what I'm saying about the ceiling fan.
Yeah. So,
Fine.
and so finally I bought a light, which, by the way, try to find a pull chain light. You can't anymore.
Yeah.
So I found one, and I said, oh, we can put it up ourselves.
Yeah.
And then something told me,
Oh.
something told me to bring somebody in, and a good thing I did, because as soon as he pulled the old one down, he's like, oh, this template and that template aren't going to match up. So
Yeah.
he had to drill something. I don't know. Good. Well, the long story short is hire somebody, Linda. Just get somebody to do
yeah.
it.
Listen,
Yeah.
Stephen, when you're married to a PhD in theology, the skills with a screwdriver and hammer are in short supply.
Wow, I must be darn lucky then.
Yes.
Because I have an accountant who does know how to fix cars
All right.
and certain things. Electricity, however, he does admit that if it's something simple he can do. If it's not, we hire.
Yeah.
Because he has a very healthy respect for electricity.
You betcha. And he should.
Exactly. So, but he's pretty handy around the house. So wow.
Yeah.
Lucky lady. I'm lucky. Good
You betcha.
Good for me. Anyway, so thank you, John,
Thank you, John.
for sharing who you are with us and with the rest of the community. And those of you who would like to do so, or send us all those notes that you're taking at Mass, so at least you can not lie to the priest and say, oh, I'm doing this for a show.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
To us. You don't have to go to confession afterwards. You can send it to our email, mondaymorningcatholic@gmail.com. You can put information up for us at facebook.com/Monday Morning Catholic. You can put it in the comment section of our website, mondaymorningcatholic.net. Or if you're really brave,
But here's my number, so call me maybe.
you can call us on the voice feedback line, 774-955-0659. I'll repeat all of that at the end of the podcast in case you didn't take it down the first time, or just to remind you again. Anyway, so let's move on to what everybody comes here for, I think.
Do you hear what I hear?
Do you hear what I hear for the, believe it or not, second Sunday in Ordinary Time? Yikes. Only 4 weeks. We're only going up to 5th Sunday,
Fifth Sunday.
correct?
That's it. Yep.
I can't believe that Ash Wednesday is
I
like,
know. February 10th.
yikes.
Yikes is right. It's less than a month away.
Holy jeez. And we won't be able to,
No. There's a toddler in my congregation that's going to be very disappointed.
Oh,
when we
true.
put Hallelujah away.
True. Miss Addison will not be very
No.
happy with that.
Addison loves to sing the Hallelujah.
Yes, she does. Well, she's just gonna have to,
Let it go. Can't hold me back.
It's very hard to explain that to a 2.5-year-old.
I know. I know. Good luck. Good
Yeah.
luck with that, Linda. Anyway, do you hear what I hear is our segment where we may all hear the same readings, and I think all of us did, at least this week. But the homiletic interpretations are certainly up for grabs, and I have a feeling we're going to have hopefully 3 different. And maybe I won't do mine now that Steve's here, but I think I still will anyway because I
Sure.
time to go over Bishop Barron's homily. So, Linda, do you want? Oh no, wait a minute, can't
Do
do
you want
that.
to go over the readings?
Yeah, I would love to do that. Boy, am I! Stephen shows up and I'm all backwards now. Good for me.
Just also excited. Yes.
Well, hey, the 3 of us. Okay, our readings for this past weekend were in the Old Testament, Isaiah. We're still in Isaiah, even though we have moved into Ordinary Time. We're still in Isaiah, going back and forth between the books. Isaiah 62, which is basically the vindication of Jerusalem. Jerusalem has been sent out to exile, and now they're back, and now God is saying, you are mine, and I am going to show the whole world, that I take care of my own. So this is the vindication of Jerusalem. The psalm for this week was Psalm 96. Proclaim his marvelous deeds to all the nations, which kind of sounds, if you were using 96 as a proper psalm for Christmas, isn't so much of a stretch.
Yeah, right.
A different refrain.
Just a different refrain.
What were the refrains that were used to this past weekend, ladies and gentlemen?
Mine was proclaim to all the nations the marvelous deeds of the Lord.
And the tune would be?
Haas Hogan, it was Psalm 96.
Right.
But they put it on the same pattern of 98.
Right.
Which is what we do for Christmas.
Oh, I know that one.
Proclaim to all the nations the marvelous deeds of the Lord.
And the good thing is that the cantors can sing the same tune.
Same verse, yes.
Again.
So that was not hard to pick up.
And are you still in RNA, Steve, or are you able to?
I haven't been, but I went back to that.
Okay. And that's working for your assemblies.
No.
What
actually
default mode.
Yeah, what actually really did work is for Advent and for Christmas I did the seasonal
Common
psalms.
Psalm, yeah.
And it worked.
And I actually got people made comments to me that they liked that.
Yeah.
Good.
But I figured for these 4 short weeks I'll just follow what's in the book.
And then do a Lent Common Psalm.
Exactly.
Yeah.
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 Perfect.
So
Perfect. And then when it gets into the longer stretch ordinary time, you can divide it up
yeah.
with
Yeah.
with a couple of ordinary common songs. Hey, if they like it, go with it.
Go with
Oh
it.
yeah, I mean, and I you know, I do announce where it is. I know that you're not supposed to. It's supposed to. It really breaks up the continuity.
Yeah, but-
I announce it. So
I'm actually of two minds with that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay? Because in the beginning I would have said, no, 9, you can't do that. No. But now I'm more like, okay, would I rather have them stone faced sitting there?
Yeah.
right,
Or
right,
would I rather have them sing something? So
right.
as inobtrusively as possible.
Well, I know that I was successful because I was told by the school principal that it was overheard in the lunch cafeteria that some of the kids were singing "All the Ends of the Earth" during
Yay!
lunch.
Oh, yes, thank you very much. There you go.
Which I thought was really funny.
If the kids are
If the
singing,
kids are singing it, that's it, man.
I mean, one could ask why that came up during the lunch period, but whatever. So,
what? Hey,
Yeah.
they'll
Hey,
they'll
they're
sing.
talking about the music, Stephen.
yeah, it was funny though. He said he was walking around and he could hear
Ah,
all the ends of the earth.
that's so well. That's like the same little toddler. Her mother was going by her room, and she was in there playing,
Mhm.
and she was in there singing Gloria in excelsis Deo, Gloria in excelsis Deo.
Anyone who doesn't believe that music is universal and
Yeah.
doesn't touch a person's soul, there's your these are your
Yeah.
examples.
I mean,
Yep.
those are that you know, she was playing with toys, and this was the tune that was going through her head. So
Those tunes just stick in there.
yeah,
That's a good thing.
and I say amen.
Yeah,
Mhm.
and so do I.
Let other people say amen.
All right.
Okay.
Our second reading was from 1 Corinthians 12, a little early in the game, where we talk about one spirit and many gifts. Of course, later on we talk about one body, many parts, and then we get into the whole, love is patient, love is kind, as we keep rolling down Corinthians. So, but this is the one spirit with the many gifts, which I sometimes think people get confused with the body and the many parts.
Yeah.
But this is important as well. Especially, I mean, right now I'm preparing kids for confirmation.
Hmm.
I'm dwelling in this area at
Yeah.
the moment. In fact, I'll be on retreat with them in a couple of weeks.
Oh boy.
No, they'll be fine. This will be good, overnight retreat. Yeah.
Ah.
At least it isn't sleeping on a gym floor.
All right.
So at my age, that doesn't work.
No, my days of sleeping on a gym floor are over.
Mine too. But so we get to know that even though there is one spirit, we don't all have the same gifts.
That's right.
Why we need people to help us
Yes.
at parishes. And of course, instead of going to Luke, we go to John, because he's the one who has the wedding at Cana, which is our basic stopping and starting point for the weekend's liturgies. Now, it was funny because where I was this weekend, the pastor had just returned from vacation, and he immediately had a wedding that weekend to do. So this was all
Yes.
I have a feeling it was one homily fits all.
Yeah. Not
Well,
really. Not really. But
Close.
because his wedding homily hits different highlights.
All right.
But he may have mentioned that this reading was the same one that comes up this weekend.
Right.
So,
Okay. So we'll let you go first. Oh, wow.
yeah. Okay.
We'll let you go first, Linda.
All right. He was actually very short this week. So what are the odds, he says, that I just celebrated a wedding and the gospel chosen is the same gospel as this weekend's?
Exactly.
Yeah. He said, I love this gospel because of the rich symbolism that is utilized by Jesus. He said that in another way by 10:30. He was saying when he reads this gospel, he likes to approach it with a shovel. And I thought,
Yeah, he said that.
I wonder how come.
I was a little worried, but
Yeah.
he
But
quickly
he said it's
defined that.
because there's so many layers of meaning with John. He begins Jesus, not John. Jesus begins by telling his mother that it's not his time yet, but eventually, being a good son, he does what she asks. First, he chooses 6 stone water jars that were used for ceremonial washings. And this, he says, is significant because he's not abolishing the old covenant, but he is turning the old into something new. So he's using the water that was formerly used for ceremonial washings for the Jews into wine that he is going to utilize as our sacrament of the Eucharist eventually. Jesus is now establishing that he is the new way, not that the old way has vanished, for the covenant with God's chosen people of Israel is still there. But now he is showing us a new way. He also, very typical of our pastor, he also noted that the result was about 180 gallons of really good wine. And he said that was a party he would like to have been invited to. Yes. But he said, in reality, though, a wedding feast then went on for several days, and the entire village would be invited to the feast. And it was a terrible embarrassment to run out of wine, and that that Jesus was not only he was can't think of the word. He was manifesting himself. Not only was he manifesting himself, but he was manifesting himself in service to other people. The best, however, is the fact that the wine steward mentions that they saved the best wine for last. He says, now, we may not always want to admit it, but when we have people over, we usually serve a good wine. And after that bottle is done, we can sneak in the box wine or even the Boone's Farm because people have been drinking for a while and their palate is, shall we say, less discerning.
Or drunk, let's just admit it.
Yeah. So what Jesus is saying is that if we follow his new way, then the quality of our lives will be better. This is what, the sign of the new wine. St. Paul tells us in our second reading that by inviting God into our lives in his new way, we will all receive gifts from the Spirit. All of us receive gifts, each different, and that is good because in that way we can share those gifts for the good of one another, and therefore everybody doesn't have to be gifted in everything. In the letter to the Corinthians, further down the line, Paul will make the analogy of the body of Christ, that each of us make up in different ways, but that all of us need to invite Christ deeper into our homes and life. Each of us makes up the body in different ways, and we each need to invite Christ deeper into our homes and lives. He also inserted in there that we're all, the arms and legs and hands and feet, and he said, and I'm probably the mouth. And everybody laughed. The quality of our faith depends on not only inviting God into our lives, but sharing the gifts that he gave us in his service and for the good of others. Amen.
Amen. Well, I was surprised at how animated he was at the 10:30, and I was worried about the shovel.
Yeah.
But then I understood. I would have liked it, more of the analogy of peeling away the onion.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah.
But some people shovels, other people.
Some people shovel, some people peel.
Steve, what do you have?
Well,
Well,
I'll just piece the two of mine that I heard together.
Oh, you're to two.
Oh, yeah.
okay.
Well, don't forget we have two priests.
That's
so,
right. You're one of the
Yeah.
few.
Lucky ones.
Yeah. They both kind of touched on similar things. Basically, they started off saying how we're back to ordinary time, but it's really ordered time. It's because if we say ordinary time, it gives the impression that it's just boring.
Right.
So he said it's actually the stories we're going to be hearing are quite extraordinary. And he mentioned how for the other seasons of the year, Advent, Christmas, Lent, Easter, we are told of specific times in Jesus's life.
Mm-hmm.
But he said now with the ordinary time and the extraordinary stories, and he honed in on the beginning of his signs. He took that
Mm-hmm.
and said, today was the wedding feast at Cana, and he kind of took apart the gospel a little bit, and he said, if you look at Jesus's first response when he said, "My time has not yet come," right? Is that what he said? Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
And then, at Mary's prompting, all right, so
Yeah.
and he did his thing, but he said, it's through these weeks of ordinary time that it's really fascinating. So I thought that was an interesting thing, and he kind of expanded on that type of thing. They at Christmas time they gave out this book,
Mhm.
Oh, the Matthew Kelly.
Rediscover Jesus.
Yeah, that's Matthew Kelly.
Right. And so they were at all the doors of the church, and people took them. So part of it was, how do you discover Jesus in your ordinary
Mm.
days?
Ah,
So
okay.
the end.
Well,
And
that
actually, I've been reading this, and it's an easy read, obviously.
Mhm.
But it's a nice little book.
Yeah,
So-
that's Rediscovering Jesus, right?
Mhm.
Nice.
Yes.
Because he
Yes.
has a thicker one that's Rediscovering Catholicism.
Well,
Oh.
I'll start with this one and
Start
go.
with
And I'll
Jesus.
Go from there.
Yeah.
Start with
Yeah.
Jesus. It probably
It's always a good place to start.
true, but it probably also comes from Rediscovering Catholicism too. He's
Yeah.
got a whole line of stuff. He's very, very good. I heard the parishes were handing that out at Christmas.
Well, it was, I believe it was at Christmas time, and they said, we have a gift to everybody. Please take one per house,
Mhm.
and they have these at the doors. And he mentioned how that we would be, using this as sort of a jumping off point throughout the year.
Yeah,
Nice.
Matthew
Yeah.
Kelly's foundation is funded by some very big donors, so a lot of what he sends out to people is free.
Oh, wow.
You just have to pay for shipping,
Okay.
or it's a small donation. Like
Right.
he has an entire confirmation program as well.
Wow.
All you have to do is buy the books for the catechists and pay the shipping, and all the student books are free.
Wow.
But I think it's extra appropriate for my parish because there's been so much change.
Yes.
So we're sort of rediscovering
You're
everything
discovering, yeah.
all over again.
That's a nice idea.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
It really is.
And your presiders are correct that ordinary people think is just blah.
Yeah.
They're not thinking of ordinal time. Which
Yeah.
Right.
is an ordered set of numbers, and even though we're not celebrating one particular part of Jesus' life, we're kind of going through different stages.
Right.
So yeah, nice of them to point that out because a lot of people don't realize that. They just
Yeah.
blah time. It's
Yeah,
blah time.
Ordinary.
Ordinary.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, I went after the big guns this weekend since I knew I would be at the same parish as Linda, and I decided to give a synopsis of Bishop Barron's homily for this past weekend. He calls it the first of the signs, which is true. It is the first of Jesus' signs after his baptism. And let's see. He begins by talking about the first reading of Isaiah. And again, speaking of the return of Israel from exile, that shame will be removed, of course, when a whole country is kind of like taken out by another country. There is some shame in that. And-
yeah.
right? But what in this part of Isaiah, it is proclaimed that indeed the Lord will delight in you and make your land his spouse. As a young man married a virgin, your builder shall marry you. He believes that all of biblical spirituality is contained in that line. And the reason is because the one who made the universe will marry his people and allow them to participate in his own life. He is not a distant God, but one that is very, involved. The God of the Bible is a person who speaks and acts. It's a richly personable biblical view of God. Now, Jesus, as he always says, is not one prophet among many, but the very embodiment of the God of Israel. He speaks and acts in the person of God. Okay, so no one should be surprised that the motifs of wedding and marriage come up in his ministry. Not just here, but in other places as well. So that when you look at the Gospel of John, first of all, some people think it's anticlimactic that Jesus performs his first miracle at a wedding feast for the purpose of increasing the amount of wine. But against an Old Testament background, this seems very appropriate because Jesus in his person is the very marriage of divinity and humanity. Didn't think that was the first time I heard somebody say that.
Yeah.
That he is the very marriage of divinity and humanity, the wedding of heaven and earth. And of course, we understand sin is like a breakup of a marriage from God. So that plays out later on. Of course, Jesus' mother is the first to speak in the gospel, of course, simply and directly. But yet you have to try to understand John. He's the same as our pastor. John needs to be approached on several different levels. On the surface, she's commenting on a social disaster. Okay, because running out of wine is a faux pas. It's a no-no. Because weddings went on for days, and you had to feed everybody and make sure everybody had a good time and were drinking. And, so what it looks like she's asking him for something practical. But if you dig deeper, wine in the Bible is a symbol of exuberance and intoxication of the divine life. This sounds like something another homilist friend of mine would be using. Same terminology. When God is in us, we are lifted up. That when God is in us, we have that effect of a good wine on us. It's the power of the divine spirit alive in you. So when Mary says they have no more wine, she is speaking at the symbolic and spiritual level about a great lack at the center of the whole human race. Would not have gotten that.
No, that's very deep.
Yeah. Extremely so. And again,
I have a headache.
I don't think you would have made it at a certain Polish priest homilies. You'd walk out every week with a headache, because he speaks on the same plane. And I hadn't heard one of these in a long time like that. We as a race have run out of the exuberance that comes with a union of God. Okay?
That's the truth.
Yeah, and that we are no longer transfigured by God. So this sin that has crept into our society has become a great divorce, basically. And in Jesus' answer to his mother, he's not being disrespectful, but he addresses her as the new Eve. Okay, that she is and puts her in the space of the spiritual mother of the new humanity. But she, of course, becomes represented as a sorrowful mother as we continue on through the gospel. And it's her last line uttered in the Bible, do whatever he tells you, which is the voice for those of, it's the voice that calls Israel to fidelity. Okay, I wrote something else on the paper, which I was half asleep when I wrote it. Now, the filling of the jars. Yes, this is a whole ceremonial thing. The Jewish folks had their ceremony just like we do as Catholics. And throughout their ceremony, these were all the ways they tried to make themselves acceptable to God. So what they do is they bring all of this ritual to the table, and then he changes it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now, he said it was 360 gallons. I don't know where he got his number.
I don't know where he got his number from. 30 gallons, 6 jars. That's 180.
Okay. He said it was 360.
Well,
So I'm just telling you what's on the.
he's a theologian. He's probably not that good in math.
Not a mathematician.
Unless they were like the big Sam's Club size.
Yeah.
Oh, you can't say Sam's Club around here
Oh,
anymore.
sorry.
Can't do that. They're moving out of our area, just
Yes.
if you'd like to know that. So what this means is that when we are married to God, life never runs out.
Hey.
Okay? That this great sign is the archetype of all of Jesus' acts and works and miracles. Join yourself to the divine grace and life. The good wine will never run dry.
Hey, that sounds good to me.
Boy, he knows what he's talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was like really heavy.
His homilies are like that.
Oh, yes, they are.
His homilies are like that. He doesn't just dance on the surface.
No,
He really has a tendency to use scripture and explicate scripture, which
the other word. The English major.
English major. He really likes. That's his preaching style.
Yeah, it is, and it was heavy. And if you want to hear the whole thing, because my interpretation comes nowhere close to how he,
Yeah, but it was good.
talks you right between the eyes. Wordonfire.org. You'll find his sermons, and you will also find his new podcast.
Mm-hmm.
So it's at wordonfire.org. I'll put that in the honorable mentions. Okay, so it looks like a couple of different ways going down the path of the first real Sunday in Ordinary Time, and it won't be around for long, so enjoy the ordinal time while we have it. Speaking of which, the voice of the people have spoken for this week as well. I had quite a few things up on Facebook this week, and they seem to have zeroed in on the same topic as our gospel this weekend.
Yeah.
The most reached article was, "Why can't Catholic couples write their own vows?" Followed very closely by, "What's it like being a Catholic priest?"
Yeah. Married Catholic priest.
Yeah, married Catholic priest. Sorry, had to say that. Let's take a look at that. The "Why can't Catholic couples write their own vows?" Those of us who work in the church pretty much know that the obvious reason for that. But there's a little known, and it was funny because they get this bishop from the Philippines to explain it, because I guess there might be a problem in the Philippines.
Maybe.
Oh.
And explaining why, and the whole, the ritual speaks not just for the couple but for the church, and you can't really say anything that the church doesn't believe in, la-di. And so I wrote on the original site that I found this on, but you do realize that there is an option. Now, I don't know if it got carried over into the new ritual, because I haven't seen the new ritual.
No, I haven't either.
The new ritual of marriage, which came out in 2000 and no one's seen it.
Yeah.
Or was it 2000 and I forget.
I don't know, but they're keeping it a very well-kept secret.
Well kept. In the older version, which was probably the 1970 some odd version of it, there is an optional piece called the prayer of the couple.
Yeah. Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yes. It's there. And it's after the vows.
All the weddings that I've done, one couple.
Yeah.
Let's take advantage of that option.
I did not, believe it or not. The liturgist in me just was kind of like, "Now get me through the ceremony.
I've been married so long. The guy that married us didn't even
talk about it."
He didn't even talk about it.
But it gives you an option not to regurgitate what
Yeah.
the vows are,
Yeah.
and not to substitute something inane like a candle or some sand,
Yeah.
which
Yeah.
I think should be like, an Uzi should be taken to that process.
Yeah.
Just the stupidest thing in the world. And
Oh.
I did it, and I'm very that I did. It's just stupid.
I don't
That's
think
all
we
right.
did actually.
I
We
didn't do. I
it.
didn't do the candle, but we did write our own vows.
Oh, whoa! Oh!
Hey, we were married by a Jesuit. He could care less.
Oh, jeez. Well, there you go. Well, I'm not going to say anything. I was taught liturgy by a Jesuit. So
Yeah.
let's not go there. But it's just, well, the candle was an 80s thing. So I
Yeah.
was married in 82. But the sand thing, whenever I saw that
Yeah.
the last 5 or 6 years, I was like, seriously?
Yeah. Seriously.
Candles?
How many symbols of unity are we going to pile on top of the rite?
Right. You go through consent, you
Yeah.
go through the vows, you go through the exchange of rings, and you still
Rings.
haven't figured out that these two people are now one.
Yeah. You need a candle and a pile of sand to do that?
That takes. So that's where this prayer of the couple is supposed to be.
Yeah.
And it's supposed to be a real prayer that you're praying. And they give you an example. It's not a bad example.
No.
They give you an example, and I've only seen one couple as well. in
Yeah.
years.
All the weddings I've done, only one couple has ever taken advantage of it.
Right. And there's where you can write basically your own prayer. It's not your vows, but it's your own prayer. But I think what our society sees on TV, with the, I'll love you until
Yeah.
the sands of time run out, or
Yeah.
as long as we're both healthy and wonderful, and of course that flies against everything that
Yeah.
is about marriage. So I think that's more what they're looking for, that feel-good emotional type of.
Yep.
And covenant is not something that people understand. Covenant language is very different.
Yep.
And in our tradition, we are making a covenant, not only with each other, but with God at this point. That's why we really can't deviate from the norm, although Catholics do leave out the word obey, which is nice. I was happy with that.
Yeah.
We
Me
do
too.
not have the word obey in our vows, which is fine with me.
I think I made them add it in mine. I'm not sure. No.
For you or for Beth?
For you or for Beth? Yeah.
So I think that has resonated, that struck a chord with our community, because they seem to want to read about that.
Yeah.
What was this? But I did add that there is the prayer of the couple, and it is still included in the ritual. So if you're anybody out there looking to get married, or children is going to be getting married in the church, and this is something they might benefit from, they might want to ask their parish priest.
Yeah.
You know,
About the option.
and hopefully he won't say, huh?
Yeah. Yeah, right.
It's in there. It's in there. And it's in the little book you get, too.
Read the book.
It's in the little book they all get.
Oh, that Together for Life book?
Yes.
It's in
Yes.
there.
Oh,
So, yeah, I know. But, when you don't have anything better.
I know. It's like, I meet with the couples. Well, we circled this one.
Yeah, right.
All right, well, let me
Right.
see which one that one is.
Yeah, really, because that one,
You
or
know.
D4.
Yeah,
D4.
that I know, yeah.
And how about this, Stephen? Do we have to pick up a psalm?
A psalm, yeah.
I said, well, we're going to pick up a psalm, but I'm going to sing it.
But Steve's going to sing the psalm.
Yes.
Oh. Yeah, hey,
I
wasn't,
know, I know.
I wasn't going to go there, but I heard a faux pas this weekend. And Linda heard the same one.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. The word espoused.
Didn't quite come out that way.
What
Quite
was it?
so.
It was
Espoused.
exposed. It
Yeah.
sounded like exposed.
No, it wasn't exposed. I didn't hear that. I heard espoused, and then 3 words later, spouse.
Yeah, yeah.
So it's kind of like,
Well, this is
And
jumping
she's a
back.
good reader.
Yeah.
yeah, she is too.
Last Sunday, I heard leading leading the Ewas with care.
He was.
Oh, you sure it wasn't the Ewoks?
Lack of faith.
You know, you sure it wasn't the Ewoks?
No, it was not Ewoks. No.
I don't have that music either. I wish I did, because I would be playing da 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 da.
And I thought, oh boy.
Yeah. He
Okay.
was.
Okay, there's a new one. We got to write these down, man.
Oh.
We got to write these down. These are too funny. Okay, so the second one that was right up there too, until I put that one up, it finally got beat, was what's it like being a married Catholic priest? And yes, in our tradition, we have men who have been priests in the Episcopal or the Lutheran tradition who have become Catholic and then ordained again. You know, and so there are people sitting there going, well, how come they can do it and our guys can't?
Yep.
Now, right now, this is a discipline, okay? This is not dogma. It's a discipline. It's a tradition. It's highly pushed because there's a basic belief that this is the way Jesus intended the priesthood to be. In other traditions, however, Orthodox, the Eastern rites of the Catholic Church, they can be married.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? Now, stipulation always is you're married first, and then you're ordained. So even if we brought married priesthood to the Western Church, the guys who are already in don't get a bye. You know, they don't get a grant. You know, they're grandfathered into the old way.
Yeah.
All right, they can't all of a sudden go.
They can't go out and get a wife.
You can't go out and get a wife, folks. You have to be married, and that's always been the tradition. Why? Because when Jesus called his apostles, they were already married, most of them.
Yeah.
So that's always been the way the tradition is run. And since Pope Francis gave the Eastern Rite Catholics in the United States back that option, in very little known way about a year and a half ago, you're probably going to be seeing more married Catholic priests under these conditions. Okay?
We know one friend of the family. As a matter of fact, Pat was the sponsor for the family when they came over from the Episcopalian church. And the whole family converted to Catholicism, and then the husband, who was an Episcopal priest, became a Catholic priest.
And
life is not easy.
No, because parishes don't understand.
Yep.
They have to support
Yes.
priest and his family.
The life is not easy.
No, it isn't. So it's not an easy thing, but a wise old priest once told me, some men are called to the priesthood, some men are called to celibacy,
Yeah.
some are called to both.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, it's not, but it's in our tradition as a Western church, this is the Roman Church, this is what the Roman Church does.
Right.
When that changes, this is what we do.
Yeah.
You know, but because we're Catholic and universal, all other types of things can also run at the same time and not be in contradiction to what one particular branch does. And if anybody wants to try to disseminate that, God love you, good luck.
Yeah, well, you know, like I said, the people that are going to initiate this kind of thing they're going to be the hard workers.
Yeah.
Because, like you said, you don't understand what it means to be a married Catholic priest.
Right. The wife probably works.
Yeah.
Kids have to be brought up.
Yes.
You know, dad is always going to be.
And this particular Catholic priest has another job besides being a priest.
Right.
Because he can't support a family of 5.
Right.
On a priest's salary.
No, but they do get housing, and they do get. I mean, even with the married, we're
not going there.
All right, well, yeah, that's true too. That's true too.
I'm not going there.
But
I'm not saying a word.
But we don't see a lot of it here in our part of the world. We're not going to see a lot of that here in the Northeast yet.
Not yet, no.
Not-
But there are some.
But there are some, and there will continue to be
Yeah.
because of the Anglican ordinate
Yeah.
within our structures, and since the Anglicans excommunicated,
The Episcopalians.
yes,
Yes.
now all heck is going to break loose with them, and I have a good friend who's probably very happy that she's moving out of being Episcopalian and Catholicism at this point, because
Yeah.
boy, that's getting strange fast.
Yeah, it is.
That one didn't get as much traction. I put that up too and it didn't get as much traction. But if you want us to talk about these things, then you have to do your part.
Yep.
So please go and like, go and share, go and comment anything that we put up on our Facebook page during the week. And when we get to record our podcast, whatever the voice of the people is, that's what we'll talk about. We
Yeah.
have one last thing to talk about today,
Can you hear me?
and it's technology, and it's not me.
It's
Yeah.
me!
As you can see, if you're watching, then you can see that Linda is holding up her brand new iPad Pro.
Woohoo! I
Yeah.
got it for Christmas.
She got it before I did.
Yes.
Joanne, are you green with envy?
Actually,
No.
actually
No.
not. As I've said, if I ever go back to being a full-time musician in the Catholic Church, that is my first purchase. Because I still believe that's the perfect size
It is.
for...
And I can show it to you.
Please, go ahead, Linda. Explain it away.
No, I can show it to you by giving you...
See, she gets to do the demonstration.
Yeah. Okay.
Bring up Fourscore.
Okay. So...
Yeah, okay, now we're getting somewhere. All right,
yeah,
there you go.
Okay. There you go. I don't know if you can see it.
We
But-
can see it.
This is the GIA hymnal app.
Okay.
I have purchased Gather 3,
Okay.
Gather Comprehensive 3,
Mhm.
and I can pull up anything from that hymnal. I have both the guitar edition and the choir book. I can pull up anything from that hymnal, and the size of this screen
Mhm.
is the size of a page of music.
Exactly.
So I'm not losing any visibility. I'm not losing any size on the print or the notes or anything. And you can use this instead of carrying around pounds and pounds of accompaniment books.
Exactly.
And with my back, I am beyond carrying pounds of books anywhere. You can take this, and with a few dry runs, you need.
No, you should do what I did, which was now I've got the regular size iPad,
Yeah.
and I've got the foot pedal,
Yep.
return foot pedal, and I've had to. One day I walked in and it was like, "Can you do the music for a daily mass for us quickly?" I'm like,
Ah,
so all I had was the music in my eye.
yes.
So here I am, pedal, pedal, pedal. Yeah, you try doing it in front of people. The first time is
Well, I wouldn't recommend that. I would recommend a few dry runs first.
yeah. Don't baptism by fire. Though has always been my motive.
Yes, well, that's kind of mine too, but I wouldn't recommend it.
Have you used it yet for mass?
No, I have not used it yet for mass because I'm basically a chicken. But I will give it a try during ordinary time. With Christmas, you're dealing with extra musicians and stuff, and I didn't want to be occupied with technology.
Okay. Steve, do you think this is something that you would consider?
Honestly, it doesn't interest me. It
Yeah.
doesn't.
Okay.
I mean, I would get it, but I still prefer to have the music in.
Yeah, well,
You know.
I kind of do too, Stephen.
Yeah.
I do too.
But I would use this in a pinch if I had to go somewhere. And
Yes.
it was a question of taking a load of books with me, or this.
Yeah.
Like the gigs I got when I was in Italy. I shouldn't say gigs.
Okay.
Bad, Linda. The masses that I played when I was in Italy.
There you go.
Otherwise known as gigs.
Yeah.
It was gigs.
This was the only music I had over there. I didn't bring my liturgical books with me.
Right, right.
So this was the only music I had, and it was a huge help, believe me.
Yeah.
But the other nice thing about this, the size of this is, and I did purchase a Bluetooth keyboard. It's almost like having a very small laptop.
Oh, it's
and
13
so-
inches. Yeah.
Yeah, when you go somewhere, this is an easy thing to take with you, and you have almost the ease of a laptop, and you don't have to take it out of the case and go through TSA.
Oh.
Because iPads, they don't make you take out of the case.
Oh, really? I did not know that.
No,
Oh, really?
No.
I just stuck my iPad in my carry-on, and they
Yeah.
don't make you take it out.
No.
Yeah.
That
So
worked.
anyway, I love it.
Did you get the pencil?
I tried, but they were out, so I'm
And you
still
don't
waiting.
have one.
I'm still waiting.
Okay. But you have, other than that piece of that app, you have Fourscore, correct?
I do have Fourscore. Yes.
How do you like Fourscore?
I like Fourscore. It's very adaptable, and you can pull up. I find it very easy to pull up stuff from Fourscore, and you can mark it.
The thing about Fourscore, you can actually mark it.
Actually, you can do that in the Gather one too.
Oh, good. All right. I have not purchased the Gather books yet. I have purchased the OCP ebook.
Well, I purchased the
That I
OCP. I purchased the OCP book, and that opens in the that does open in the Gather app.
It does. Yeah. Really? I'm gonna have to try that. I did not know it did that because I have another PDF. I have an ebook reader.
It disappeared.
Called-
What happened to it?
Called Goodreader, and Goodreader opens.
Oh, no, here it is. Imported hymns.
Oh darn! I'm gonna do that.
Yeah, imported hymns, and that's the OCP book.
All right, good. Steve,
So-
I figured somebody as young as you might want to get in on all this tech.
I've seen people use it.
Mm-hmm.
I had this woman come and sing a funeral once, and she had one.
Really?
And it just, I don't know. She's standing there singing, going like this, and it's just bizarre to me. I don't know. I mean, I know it's the future, but it was just...
I know. And I have to say, I will probably, when I actually use this in church, it will probably just be for maybe one or two hymns.
Right.
Because I am so tied to having paper music.
Right.
It's just the way I've always done it,
Mhm.
And I understand innovation is a good thing. And I'm willing to try, but I somehow don't think I'll ever get past my paper folder completely.
I can tell you, I played almost an entire Christmas Mass, not for you, in Middleborough, and used only the iPad.
Oh, nice.
Okay, there were a couple of things I had to use paper music for. One was "Oh Holy Night" because that came on me quickly. It was like, you need to do this.
Well, and like, for example, the set of acclamations that we're getting ready to use is unpublished.
Right, so it's on.
I have to use paper.
Right. Well, it's in file, isn't it?
Well, it is. Yeah, it is in file. It's in Finale.
Oh, so then it has to be taken out as a TIFF?
Yeah.
It's probably taken out as a TIFF file.
Well, the only way I know how to take it out.
Half of our audience talking about TIFF files. You do
Okay.
that, don't you?
It's all right.
Well, I do know that there are other people in our viewing area that are thinking of getting one of those. So
I'll get one. You'll love it.
exactly. And for those of you who have the regular version like I do, see, I need mine for more than one thing. So it would be nice if I just had the big one for music, but I still have to present. And holding that big one is too heavy.
Yeah. Yeah.
And if I'm presenting all night, it's like, you're kidding me. I did.
Yes.
I stood there and held it for 5 minutes at an
Yeah.
Apple store and just went, nah, this is not gonna work. Because you can't hold it with one hand. It's almost.
Although I got to say, yeah, it's true, and they actually sell a case. Now I have this that I can slip my hand under,
Right.
this little metal thing,
Mhm.
but they actually sell a case that has an elastic
Yes.
where you can stick your hand in there.
No, they have it for the regular size one too, and I never liked it.
You never liked it?
No, because it tends to do one of the, the yo-yo effect. When the elastic starts to stretch, it's like, nah, I don't. That's all I need. Yo-yo iPad, bang, crash.
Boing. But anyway, that's my big tech talk. Woo.
See, somebody else here talks tech beside me. There you go. Anyway, so we are at the end of another podcast, lady and gentlemen. And we've gone over, as usual,
Of course.
but that's okay. We don't mind. Hopefully you will help us go over again next week by sending us some feedback, mondaymorningcatholic@gmail.com, or putting something in our comment box at mondaymorningcatholic.net. You can help us with Voice of the People, of course, facebook.com/Monday Morning Catholic. We'd love to see what you're going to come up with, and a few things are heading in that direction this week that could be interesting. Or you can call us, as always. We'd love to hear from you. The voice feedback line, 774-955-0659. My thing to pray for this week, and I'm sure those of us in Rhode Island have seen a lot of this little boy.
Oh, yeah.
Now, a little boy from Westerly, Rhode Island by the name of Dorian, who is actually dying of cancer. And he's 8 years old, and his big thing is to be famous. Well, he's gotten more famous in the last week than anything. And
Yeah.
this pediatric cancer thing, there's so many people dying of cancer. It's almost all of a sudden cancer's reared its ugly head again. We've had famous people die.
I
And
know. Oh, my goodness.
Rickman and Celine Dion's husband and brother.
Yes.
And they're all saying dying of cancer, and it's like, I thought we even though we've made big strides in cancer, we have not figured that we don't have the complete secret sauce
Yeah.
to arrest it finally. So please, if one thing you can do this week is really pray for a cure for cancer, and to pray for Dorian, because they've stopped all treatment for him, and he seems to be a strong little boy, but as we know, as we adults know, it's not going to be something that lasts forever.
Yeah.
So D strong. That's who we're going to pray for this weekend.
Yeah.
Thank you for joining us, and we're going to thank Linda Reed and Steve Romano. And from myself, we will be praying for you, as we hope you will also pray for us and for this entire world. So until we see you next week, hang in there. God bless you, and ciao for now.